Pokemon's 10th generation game is on the horizon. This is rumored to be an open world island hopping adventure. So today on the podcast, we're going to take a look at every single Pokemon, character, feature, or gameplay mechanic, really anything that could make this Generation 10 Pokemon game amazing. Welcome back to Hidden Power. This is a Pokemon podcast. My name is DustyGogoat, and today I'm joined by TraderLumi.
Hello.
And SoulSilverArt.
What's up? What's up?
We've got a long list for you guys today. I'm really excited. We're on literally the precipice of Pokemon Day. This has been a highly anticipated point. We're expecting the reveal of Generation 10, and with it, right, this is also the start of the 30th year anniversary. So we're excited to see what kind of new experimental features could be brought into this next generation Pokemon game in the same way that the 20th anniversary game, Pokemon Sun and Moon, brought a lot of brand new things to the series. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm pumped, guys. Who wants to start off this list today?
Well, first off, I want to say I'll grab that because you kind of segued me perfectly. With Sun and Moon, gave us a lot of new stuff, but there also was a lot of nostalgia in Sun and Moon, but not just for Gen 1. I know that we do think like, oh, Sun and Moon was all Gen 1 because Red and Blue were there and all the regional variants were for Gen 1 Pokemon, but really like Colress showed up and actually played a pretty big role in the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon story. And then like you have Cynthia's there and Wally's there. There was all kinds of just Grimsley also showed up and like gives you the Sharpedo Pokeride.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of just celebration of the last 20 years of Pokemon, and that's something that I want from this game, is for there to be a lot of returning characters, for there to be maybe even a lot of references to past places, in the same way that like Samson Oak is, while he's not a returning character, he's like a reference to Professor Oak,
right?
Because Oak's got a regional variant and his cousin, that
was I forgot all about that.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
crazy.
It was good stuff, and like little references with like, the Rotom Dex, Sycamore helped with that. Stuff like that went a long way. I think it just making this world feel big, and feel like the other world still existed in this big world, which is something that I feel Pokemon is often lacking.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely was. I'm not going to sit here and say there wasn't a majority of Kanto pandering in, like, as part of the celebration in Sun and Moon, but you are right. There were a lot of other cameo characters in Pokemon that returned. That were kind of woven in to make the world feel bigger and larger and just mostly interconnected. And I think that is, truthfully, a lot of the things that are on my list today are items that would make this world feel interconnected, right? I think as part of any fandom, it's like the connections and the connections between and the references and the Easter eggs are fun. But I think what's even more fun about that is that it emphasizes that this is whatever fandom we're into, Pokemon, it's a real living space. It's not just a product, but like we want to feel like this is our escape, right? This is our fantasy world. So we want to feel like it's all, building up to something greater. That's a great point, Lumi.
What was the 20th anniversary slogan thing that the trailer? It's all connected. Was it?
No,
do you know what I'm talking about?
That's like a Marvel thing, I think.
No. When the 20th anniversary,
watch every movie and Disney Plus show is the slogan.
When the 20th anniversary said, it's like it all leads up to this or something like that, and I can't remember. It wasn't really a slogan. It was just it was like the fans took it on.
Train
as a
on
slogan.
Was their motto.
No.
That was in 2016. It was Train On.
That's hilarious.
I don't know. I remember it being a big deal the year before with Oris. They did Gotta Catch 'Em All. They brought that back because you actually now could get all the Pokemon between Oris and X and Y.
And then they killed it in Gen 8.
They killed it.
It all comes together, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe. But
it all comes together.
That is the theme that I'm wanting. And honestly, too, because you're right, with Sun and Moon, it was majority Kanto still, and I don't mind that. I get that. That is where it all started. So, of course, we're going to pander to that a little bit more. And at the end of the day...
That's still going to happen probably, too.
And those characters are more beloved, right? On average, I think more people do... They're certainly more recognizable, which is a reason to bring them back. But I'm all for that. I would love to see Kanto characters show up. I'd love to see all kinds of characters show up, but I don't mind it being Kanto characters. I don't mind there being Kanto Pokemon getting love. I want there's still a lot of Kanto Pokemon that need some love. You know, Dugong immediately comes to mind.
Yeah, I think, I guess I can imagine what a lot of people listening would say, right? I feel like I think we're almost trained to hate Kanto, but so I guess I want to say that, like, the Kanto pandering, I don't know, like, it's not like inherently bad, but I think I also want to say that, like, this 30th year anniversary is going to be different, because unlike a 10-year anniversary, a 15, a 20-year anniversary, where it's like you're kind of speaking to the primary, customer, or the primary fan, which is someone who grew up with some iteration of Kanto, right? Or one of the first 4 generations of Pokemon games. I think this is like the first major milestone, celebratory year that is actually going to be, catered to, I guess, younger fans, where their nostalgia lies in Generation 5, in Generation 6, in Generation 7.
That's a good
I
point.
think for the first time, I think what we're going to see in the 30th year anniversary in this Generation 10 game, I think what we're going to see is a celebration beyond Generation 1. It's not just about Kanto,
Right.
And by the way, I got 3 dogs in the house today. It's a little bit different. Usually I have 2 dogs. I'm going to have 3 dogs today, so there is going to be some barking. I'm sorry.
It's all good,
but
man. Makes it feel more alive.
No, I love it. I'm watching my parents' dog. But do you guys want to start our list? I think it'd be great. To start talking about like what we have on our lists.
Well, I think my first list. So someone go to I can pass it off to someone else now.
So what was your first thing?
Nostalgia. I want to see past characters.
Oh, okay.
I want to see past themes and love.
You do
want to
see
regions.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I do want to see it. Yeah,
past
Galar,
characters
for example,
is a fun idea. Yeah,
Galar felt so disconnected from other. Like, I remember everyone was like, "Well, it's Galar. Obviously, Looker has to show up." And there's like no past characters showing up. There's no there was very few mentions of other regions. And Sun and Moon was the exact opposite of that, where like every 4 feet, someone is referencing a past character, or a past region, or past. Like the GS ball got mentioned in Sun and Moon. I thought we weren't supposed to think about that, But here Game Freak is referencing something they scrapped. So give me that. That's what I want from this game. Is a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a really good one. I don't mind when they do like games where they're completely separate from, though. Like Sword and Shield being like that is good because Gen 7 had so many references. But this is the 30th anniversary. Let's do it. Let's bring a whole bunch of them in just for the nostalgia factor. I think having returning characters like that being your official list first on the list is a good one. Like, yeah, just anyone.
This game specifically too, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be as hard on it. I won't be as hard on that in Gen 11, but Gen 10 30th anniversary game, I'm sorry, we got to see some.
I don't know why I can't find just like a list of all these returning characters in Sun and Moon. Like,
I know that's weird that nobody's
difficult to find a list of it.
That. But there was a lot, because in the battle tree alone, there were like characters that you actually didn't see outside of the battle tree, but they were in the battle tree, like Wally.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, Wally for sure. I remember.
But you had Annabelle return, or was it Annabelle? Yeah, Annabelle.
Yeah, you got Annabelle right here. Yeah, no, okay, so this is hilarious because I thought you were just setting up like the vibe of the 30th year anniversary.
No, this was my actual one.
So this is your idea of returning characters. It's literally the first thing on my list as well. But I was gonna go a little bit more specific with this before I get to my list. But like, yeah, I really think this is a really good example of like the kind of things that we could see. I would almost prefer them. No, honestly, the battle tree is fine. Like, I think it is pretty cool. I feel like if this happened nowadays, I would maybe interact with it a little bit more. I didn't actually like interact with these characters too much outside of the main story. But so what I wanted to say was, right, Generation 10, from what we know, is going to be, based on Indonesia and Southeast Asia. We have a type of map that was leaked. It's like a version. It's a specific build of the Generation 10 map. It could change by the time we actually get the game, but this is, I think, what we're expecting the majority, or this is what we're expecting Pokemon, this new Pokemon map to look like for Gen 10. And I like the idea that the Pokemon map is going to be actually a collection of different regions in the same way, not in the same way, but like similar to how like Alola features multiple different islands with different cultures and feelings. I kind of hope this playable map is similar to that. And I hope they kind of emphasize this by also showcasing not only specific characters that are from like the northern part of the map and the center of the map, and maybe the southwestern or the southeastern part of the map, maybe like where Australia is, like that's really cool. But they could also have people from past games that are talking about where they're from to suggest that if you scope the map out, you can maybe see Japan, which would be up here in the northeast, right? Like beyond the ocean. And there's the Philippines and some other locations, but like Japan is up in that direction. Or you could say like, I guess actually also to the south, to the east would be like Unova or something, right? So like there's ways to kind of incorporate, right? Or from the west, it's like maybe there's a Kalos character, and there was hardly any returning characters in ZA. So now I'm kind of thinking to myself, like maybe that's a sign, of the fact that they're holding back these characters because they want to really make it feel exciting when they bring these characters back. You know, like a Pokemon. Like, what if we get a Pokemon World Tournament equivalent in this game where all of these returning characters are coming back for Gen 10?
My heart.
That would be so dope.
I mean, that's kind of what the battle tree was like. So I would imagine something like that.
It was
I don't
like
know how hard they go, but
the battle tree was like you had a handful of characters.
I definitely hope so. My one worry is, and I hope this isn't true, but I worry that champions would affect that. Like, that they do that in champions so that they don't have to here. Because like in Scarlet and Violet, there's no battle facility at all, let alone with returning characters. But that's actually on my list too, is that like with the nostalgia thing, I would like to have a facility where we can battle these characters, like the battle tree, or like there was the battle cruise was a scrapped feature from Pokemon Sun and Moon, and the idea was that this cruise ship would dock at places in the Pokemon world. Like it would dock at Castelia City, and then since it's docked at Castelia City, there's a chance that, say, Iris boards your ship, and now she's in your battle facility on that ship. And now it's really docked at Slateport City, so maybe Steven hops on your ship. You know, like things like that. I think that's just gold. I would love them doing stuff like that.
That would be fun.
Dude, that is so much fun. I do think Champions kind of makes it a little bit interesting, but maybe what they could do is like, because what you're describing, I guess it's like, would the battle simulator or the battle facility be basically brought into Champions as a feature of that game? And that does make sense, especially because we know nothing about this game. Right. And I'm kind of thinking Champions could be just like a companion to Gen 10. Like you buy Gen 10, you unlock those Pokemon, but then you do the battling in Champions. That makes sense.
They could do even the nostalgia in Champions, you know? That's what I think what Lumi is suggesting, is that like they do like a tournament here where all those characters return here instead of in Gen 10. I also want to say that Gen 10, like so far what we've seen of like what the battling might be like, it feels like it might not be a battle focused game either. Like it might be more on the exploration side of things.
Yeah.
Don't know, but
I think battling has to be core, because it's like, well, what do you do with the Pokemon that you collect?
Right? Yeah, I mean, you're going to battle. I'm not saying you won't, but just maybe not as a focus like, you know, ZA's was like so focused on battling, where this
even Paldea felt like a big focus on like battling. No, I think those are really good points. But I think what they'd have to do is basically like, that could almost be good, because if I mean, dude, I'll take it. Like if Pokemon Champions, if they introduce the equivalent to a world tournament from Black and White, where literally every gym leader and champion and evil villain is in that tournament, but it's on Champions, that's fine, because then that would allow them to like sprinkle in Easter eggs, not Easter eggs, but like cameos of returning characters in Gen 10 that make sense to the region.
Right.
Feel contextual.
Yeah.
You know, to like there was this rumor about Champions. We looked at it a couple times last year because it got a lot of information right. In fact, it only now has it gotten one thing wrong, and that's that it said that the release date for Champions would be January 23rd. But the way I see that is that's something
that could be tomorrow.
Very well. Well, by the time the viewers are listening to this, they know whether it came out for us tomorrow or not.
Dude, if it drops tomorrow,
Shadow drop tomorrow. We haven't heard anything on it since Worlds Imagine. But no,
crazy.
I think that, release date's totally something that can just change. Like, they might have been shooting for that date and then pushed it back. I still am a believer in this rumor is what I'm getting at. And one thing that rumor did say was that Champions would have like a battle mode that did use returning NPCs like from the mainline games.
It's all part of the 30th anniversary, like nostalgia blast either way. So like it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's in Gen 10 or not. I think there'll still be stuff in Gen 10. I love your pick either way.
But Dusty, I love that you said too that you think like Legends EA, you suggested maybe Legends EA pulled back on the reveals of like, past characters to kind of set up Gen 10 giving us a lot of those. I really like that idea because one thing it does say is that they when talking about Sycamore and Trevor, they say, "Oh, Professor Sycamore and Trevor are in another region doing research," or something to that effect. They don't, and it's weird because they name drop regions left and right. They say Kanto, Johto, Paldea. They say it all the time in that game. So it's weird that they didn't say, "Oh, Sycamore and Trevor are in Kanto right now or in Hoenn right now." Now they say another region. It does kind of make you wonder, are they in the Gen 10 region? We're going to see them pop up here. Maybe as like some people have speculated that like Mega Evolution might still be in this game. We might even get more. Maybe that's maybe Sycamore and Trevor are here to kind of serve the role of Dexio and Cena in Gen 7 where they give us the Mega Ring and they kind of introduce us to Mega Evolution. Maybe that's going to be Sycamore and Trevor this time.
It's a good shout. I agree.
So also on my list, just to add to this, was more. I mean, you're talking about Sycamore and these in Trevor, but like I guess the thing that was on my list was not only just the gym leaders, but I also think it'd be really special to actually see the main characters, the protagonists of the Pokemon games. Maybe not all of them. I think top of mind was Red and Blue, which I guess they do show up in the Battle Tower.
That's the safest bet. It's Red and Blue.
Yeah. And I think what's cool is like in Sun and Moon during the 20th year anniversary, they showed up. And again, I'm not seeing them on this list, which is kind of weird and stupid because they are in the Battle
That is weird.
Tower. Unless, are they not in the Battle Tower? But
no, they're in the Battle Tree. You have to beat them, I think,
at the
to
end,
get the Venusaurite and Charizardite and Blastoiseite. I'm pretty sure.
They're in the Battle Tree.
I know for a fact they are.
They are like the ones that open it up to you.
Yeah.
And then you fight them, I'm pretty sure.
They're your first like special opponent you fight, like guaranteed. It's random after that, but they're your first guaranteed.
Anyway,
maybe
weird.
They're not considered special characters because they're not
Yeah.
NPCs as much as they are. Like maybe Bulbapedia is not classifying them because they're not NPCs. They're you know.
Weird. Well, Gary isn't or Blue.
Yeah, that's true. Blue isn't.
It'd be funny. They're like 10 years older than the last time we saw them.
Oh my gosh.
Older.
So that's what was on my list. Like Red and Blue come back not 20 years older, but 30 years older.
Red's holding a kid like while he's battling.
No, he doesn't need to be holding a kid, but just to be a little bit older would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
like,
no, that would be neat.
Because what is he supposed to be here? I feel like he's supposed to almost be. Well, I guess if
he would be 30 if it's 20 years after. He looks to me more like 25, 20.
I think 20. No, 20 works. I think 20 works here.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's true because he'd be 30 if he's This maybe looks 20.
He's even got a 96 on his shirt. So is this man 30?
Yeah, because it would have been 20 years. So he would be 40. But that'd be kind of dope, dude. I mean, like if he just looks a little bit older, it doesn't. I mean, he would still be like. Think about a 40-year-old character in the Pokemon world. Who would that be? Drasna? Like
Drasna
doesn't look that 40.
old. I'm sorry, Drasna is.
He doesn't look that old. Like he wouldn't look that much
60.
older. He would just look. Mature or whatever. Like Lance, how old is Lance?
A little gray, maybe. A little gray.
Maybe a little bit.
He's starting to get some gray hairs. Yeah,
that's kind of sick, though. I mean, that would be kind of cool, just to again show the lineage. So I was thinking about the main characters, Red and Blue. That's kind of fun. I think it would be awesome to also see maybe like Like, I don't know. I guess like someone like Nimona would be kind of sick to see show up, right?
She
I'm
could
trying to
definitely
think-
show up.
Really could
Yeah.
show up. I feel like
Nimona
if
could show
anybody, that's a good one because she has so many like
Anyone from
stuff in her
Paldea,
house
Yeah.
that people are
Mhm.
looking at and thinking might be hints, like a Tropia stained glass window, and
Yeah.
there's a connection between Indonesia and bananas. She has like a picture of a Luminion and a coral reef, and
Mhm.
there's allegedly like a diving thing with Luminion in this
Sure.
game, and
She's all about battling, right? So
yeah, also
it's
all
like-
about battling. So if there's a facility, she's got to pop up.
and her
Yeah.
parents
I
are
also
rich.
like too that they use the opportunity to bring back characters to save characters. Like Annabelle, she was cool or whatever, but you didn't see her unless you got to the end of the battle tower in one game, Pokemon Emerald. So how many people really were familiar with Annabelle? I think if she wasn't in the anime, you would have had a lot of
wasn't.
people going, "Who the heck is this girl?"
I
So
didn't know
I
who she
like
was.
that they brought her back, but made her like they gave her something. They did this whole Ultra Beast hunting arc with her and Looker, and kind of
Mhm.
like had a little romance going on between her and Looker. I think that was cool. So I'd love for them to take some of those more forgotten characters and not
Yeah.
just bring them back, but give them something. Make me not forget them.
No, totally.
Solid.
I think that's awesome. I also on this list for returning characters, didn't mean to spend so much time on returning characters.
It's a big deal.
But the professors also, like,
That's good.
again, we got Professor Oak. I don't think we got Samson Oak during the 20th year anniversary.
Mm.
Professor Oak, how old is he supposed to be? Because
don't
I feel
know.
like in our minds he's 60, but he could also just be like 50,
Yeah, 50.
which would make him just like an old man. But how much more old man are you gonna make him?
Oh
He's
well,
retired.
they can get older. He can get older looking. Like,
Yeah, he can get older
you know.
looking. Just
Mhm.
like maybe mostly his like posture, right?
He'd be like
Um,
this, and no.
Yeah, but he'd still be smiling.
He's
a
got a
friendly
little
old guy.
walking stick now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they might also not want to age him too much, but I just think, I think it'd be cool to see any of these professors come back. And Professor Oak is obvious,
Right.
but you could
Yeah.
also say Professor Sycamore. What is on hiatus? What did they say? Like in ZA,
They said he's in another region with Trevor.
Mhm.
Yeah, you were saying that. Yeah, so like they could show up, or I'm trying to think about like what the specialties are of the different
I think
professors.
Birch would be a good fit because he
Birch's
studies Pokemon
habitats.
environments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool if Birch shows up. Maybe he's working alongside. Maybe honestly, Birch could make sense if Birch is studying alongside Sycamore and this new professor that is supposed to be based on Darwin. Now you have Pokemon environments with another professor of a different region studying environments, which also maybe he's also with Sycamore, and those are the two regional professors of the games that had Mega Evolution. Which again, maybe we could see Mega Evolution come back as a side feature in this game. And I don't know, there's some fun things they could do with that. And it's not even like I love these professors so much, but again, talking about making this Pokemon world feel fleshed out, this is a great way to do it. Having the representative of these different regions. Also to emphasize, right, if we have one regional professor in Gen 10 that is based, that is studying regional forms and environments and stuff. Actually,
Kukui studied moves.
So he didn't study there. We don't have a regional. We don't have a Pokemon professor that studies.
Samson
Okay,
Oak is a
Samson Oak,
professor
okay.
of regional variants. So imagine
He
him showing
could
up.
come back.
Well, and not only could he come back, but like
He could.
we've kind of been fangirling over this idea that Loxton introduced us to in our Gen 10 starters episodes. Guys, go check that episode out.
Yeah.
But Loxton talked about this thing that's in that area called the Wallace line, where basically it's this invisible line in that area where there are completely different animals on one side than there are in the other side. And the idea is they never cross that line, even though they very easily could, because their ecological niche is being fulfilled by something else on that other side. So it's this wild just break in diversity across that border. And imagine like Samson Oak coming back to kind of explain that, or he's there to study that phenomenon or the Pokemon equivalent of that phenomenon. Well, there are a lot of things that we want from Gen 10. But you know what's something else that I want from this year? For you all to know just how thankful we are for your support. So many of you show up each week to just watch the video even, but then some of you go beyond that. You like, you subscribe, and then a group of people even go beyond that and actually invest in the show by becoming a YouTube member or a Patreon. We want to shout out a couple of y'all. It's essential. Yeah, the show wouldn't run without it. We want to shout out our mythical tier supporters: Ryan, Cornet Highlander, Tyler Low 15, Case, Duke Norton, Nicholas Taylor, SEH Art Gold, Nathan Shorter, Louis Gervais, Jen Renegade, Chief Keith, Ball Guy, Father Dagda, Slowbrook Fan 24, Steven 3338, and Scoodio and the PokeKiddo 1. We want to give a special shout out to our Arceus tier supporter, Red, and we want to give the Gen 10 gimmick's supposed to be called like Majin or something, or that's the code name. So we'll just say right now. What, you have another suggestion for what we should call it?
On the spot.
I'm trying to think what we could call it. Like maybe like.
How about this? This is a big game. A Gen 10 sized shout out to all of our Game Freak Inc. supporters. Bramtastic, Young Smokey, and Young Smokey said it twice because he's a supporter on Patreon and on YouTube. Thank you all so much for the support.
Thank you guys.
You guys make, as Lumi said, you guys make this show possible. Every single week. We put out multiple episodes a week. For there's extra bonus episodes for Patreon and YouTube channel member supporters. If you want your name read at this mythical tier right here, we will read your name on every single podcast. And I will also say, I don't even think you guys don't even know about this, but I am working. I'm in development of creating additional perks for this mythical tier because so many of you guys show up. So this will be an additional reward beyond just a shout out. Just that's a little teaser. But at the lowest tier, our base tier, this is our introduction level tier, legendary tier. You get every single bonus podcast that we put out. That is, I gotta update this actually. It says 1 to 2 episodes a month. It's one a week. One episode a week. That you get. This isn't just 30
literally
minutes.
By signing
it's like
up,
an hour and a half.
Double the amount of content you get from this channel.
Right.
Sometimes it's like 60% more because it'll be anyways. Yes. Yeah. One whole episode every single week that you get at that legendary tier. You also get access to our Discord. There are so many people in there, over 500 community members who that's where the conversation happens after the show. When we log off, that's where people are. That's where the community are. That is to continue having these conversations about the podcast, about other theories, about their personal life, about their other types of fandom. That's where like all the real hidden power, not fans, community members are. That's where they hang out.
It's also where our live call-in shows happen, and we've got one coming up before Pokemon.
You got to be in
Day.
the Discord. You got to be in the Discord to get into that. We do also do some AMAs, and I would like to do those more on live streams. I feel like I look at that and I'm like, we don't do those as much as we should. I would like to do more of that. And you get 10% off all merch. But we are thinking about restructuring this whole system. We're working on new perks to add to all of our Patreon tiers in the future. This is such a great time as we go into Pokemon Day to join at that $5 tier. But if you want to support and go above and beyond and get your name read on the next Hidden Power podcast, Mythical tier is the way to go. Links are in the description. Patreon or YouTube. We love you guys. Thank you for making the show possible. And back to the episode. Yeah. And you know
Definitely
what? I'm looking at his art right here, Samson Oak. And this is from the anime. But his t-shirt depicts multiple fish, and there's a line that strips through his shirt in the same direction as the Wallace line, which is separating the two different species. And that means nothing potentially, but that also is just kind of cool.
That's definitely
That's kind of wild. Oh my gosh.
I'm more and more starting to think that this Gen 10 game is literally going to be Alola 2.0, and not only the fact that it's like islands, but that it's, these separate. Okay, so in game.
But that was his anime model. Dang.
Yeah.
I loved that though. That was a really good shout, man.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, Samson Oak could make sense. And guess what Samson Oak has? A Komala.
Of course.
Which is going to have a regional evolution in the Australia section of this map.
please.
Dude, he's got a cool team. He's got the
They should save
Executor.
it.
He's got a Cantonian Vulpix. Dude, Samson O coming back would be kind of awesome, right?
I mean, like game wise, he was like not that big of a deal.
No, but they can make him a big deal.
The anime, yeah.
But they
No,
can
I'm
make
just
him a
saying,
big
would it be that like super impactful? I guess they could make it, yeah.
But see, that's what I'm talking about with Annabelle. Bring him back, make him impactful.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah. Like I don't care about Samson Oak. He's nice because he's like a regional form of Oak. But he's Oak's brother. You know? Bring him back. And you know what you could also do? Dude, you know what it should be? We should have Gary Oak be a professor. Have the new generation of the Professor Oak be Gary Oak or Blue.
That works
Blue
with the anime canon, but in the games he becomes a gym leader. So it's like, does he after that end up deciding to be a professor? But in the anime, he is looking for that. So they could always like try to retcon to be more in line with the anime or change what happens after. But I also love the idea of there being multiple professors coming back because like if I'm in this game and as I'm playing through it, I'm like at the 4th gym or whatever the equivalent of that would be in the story. And I've encountered like 2-3 professors already. It instantly like makes me as a player think that like this region is insane. So many professors are flocking to this region to study it, you know?
Yeah. For sure.
But yeah, Samson.
Did you have anything to add to that, Soul?
No, I mean, I think we've talked about it for a while, actually. I think that it's a great idea. Definitely, I'm in agreement. I would love to see it happen. Bring them all back.
What's on your list then?
So my number one thing that I would be remiss not to mention is one that I've said already on the podcast, but it's the one. If there was one thing that I could ask of Pokemon or Game Freak to put in this game, it would be the proper level scaling that Scarlet and Violet did not have.
That's good.
Like that's all I need from this. Like literally,
you're a champion of the people.
That's what I need. I just don't want to deal with that again. That kind of ruined the Scarlet and Violet experience for me, and I don't want to feel that again. Even though I'm very skeptical that this will happen. I feel like they will just go exactly with Scarlet and Violet's whole situation. But man, if they could just scale the levels to where you are in the world, like because we pretty much are assuming there's going to be gyms and some bosses and all that, and it's just I would like to do them in any order that I want. If they want like a true open world like freedom experience, that's what they need. That's the one feature I need back. I don't know about what y'all think about it, but
Scarlet and Violet was definitely soured by this like announcement of you can do the gyms in any order, but like you can't.
I don't think they'll make that mistake
really
again.
You know what I mean? Like, it felt so like I don't know, like not genuine. You know, like it felt like a fake out, and it felt like a slight betrayal. Like, why are you advertising? Right. They advertise as a big part of the game, and it was like, why advertise it as a big part of a game if you're not gonna like actually stick the landing on it? So it would make sense that they would at least see that most people felt that way, and either implement level scaling in this game or just make it where gyms can't be done in any order. You know, because what's the point of doing them in any order if you're not gonna scale them?
Yeah, be like you have to go to this one next.
Right.
Or something. But I don't know, because if you have full open world, like I don't know, if it's not fully open world where you have like locked off places, that would make sense. But if you can go like kind of anywhere, you could level up your Pokemon to like crazy amounts, and then you have to go face the first gym, even if they force you and you're still high leveled. It's just it really sucks to like get there and be like, there's nothing to this at all other than an accomplishment, I guess. like a check off the list of what I'm supposed to do. So that's a huge one for me. The huge one, actually. I think there's only one other one that could rival it, but it's a little different.
We'll say that for later in the pod.
Yeah.
Let me, you know what I'll do? Because I got a long list, and some of these we've talked about on other podcasts, but I will bring them up just because I think they're interesting. And I feel like this is a generation where, you know, now that we know something about it, it's maybe not as like I'm not holding my breath for some of these things because we do know some information about this game. But yeah, let me list off a bunch of early not honorable mentions, but just things I don't think we need to have a full conversation about, but things that are always on my mind.
Okay, but first Soul has to drop a beat and you have to rap them.
No. Because I do want to, we should talk about them a little bit. All right, first one, type retcon. Look at the entire dex. I would love a Pokedex that is almost, or honestly just a Pokedex that is basically like an objective Pokedex that is just, not the Gen 10 dex, but like a new national dex. Not even national dex, just like an objective dex that fixes the order of everything, and that isn't separated by like when the Pokemon was introduced. And so part of that, I think, is the opportunity to do a stat recon or retcon, like a new stat distribution retcon for things where it is appropriate. And we did see this in Sun and Moon with a lot of random Pokemon getting like stat boosts. Just
Scarlet and Violet
kind of,
as well, even.
Yes, to a lesser extent, but
Yeah.
Sun and Moon was the first big one where they were like, a lot of Pokemon, Arbok, Raichu, just a bunch of Pokemon that like kind of fell behind due to like like a what do you call it? Like a power creep.
Yeah.
Like those Pokemon fell behind. Sun and Moon kind of brought them up to speed. Didn't make them OP, didn't change them too much, but just brought it up to speed. And I think I would love to see something similar to that, but not only with the early generation Pokemon, but with the even the newer Pokemon. And I think another part of this type of like restructure of the decks that I think is really cool would be like a type retcon as well. And we've talked about this many times on the podcast. This is something that is interesting to me, but there's a lot of types. There's a lot of Pokemon that feel like they have types because it made sense for the game that they were introduced, but doesn't really make sense logically, or it feels like they don't fully embody a type that represents them. And what I'm not saying is just change every single Pokemon's type just because, but I do think there's a lot of Pokemon that could just feel a little bit more special or fill a different niche if they had a different type. And again, like this would all be respectful of like what the Pokemon is. I'm sure everyone right now listening is thinking of some sort of Pokemon where you're like, yeah, I guess this thing could have this type.
Steel type on Blastoise.
That's literally what I was thinking about. Like
That's funny.
Stupid, but it's not stupid, but it's like, I don't feel like no one talks about it. I don't know why the Mega didn't get a steel type. It literally has metal in its design. It's a hard, tanky. That's a great example. There's even ones that are a little bit more of a stretch, like, Rattata and Raticate. Rattata is purple. It's a rat. It's by the evil team. You could give it a poison type. That's a stretch. I don't think that actually needs to happen because it doesn't have other poison types. But there's a million. Blastoise is the great example.
Yeah, I think Blastoise is a really good example. With like Rattata, I wonder if they don't do that so that, maybe down the line we can get a Raticate evolution that does add the poison type, and that actually kind of makes it something interesting. But there are definitely a ton of examples. The other one, I thought steel type Blastoise immediately, but then also like, why is Grapplock pure fighting? It should be water fighting, Yeah.
And the pure fighting is fine, I guess, but like, fighting water is way more interesting.
And it's always in the water, and it's a freaking octopus. Come on, guys! Like, this
One-
isn't a leap that
one.
we're doing here,
Yeah, 100%.
But
That's one of the ones.
I'm with you on that. That would be good.
Yeah.
Stat changes are absolutely needed. They kind of do this every game, but I guess I want it kind of like you said, in a more intentional way. I'd like them to revisit Pokemon's move pools as well. Because some Pokemon, like Sceptile, is genuinely, with every day, he gets a little bit closer to not just being not the best, but actually being bad. Because he gets no coverage,
Yeah.
Dang, bro. Yeah.
So that needs to, like, I just feel like this is the great opportunity to actually go through all the Pokemon. And I'm not saying give us every single Pokemon, but like, I don't know. It's like, and I'm starting to think the type thing is one thing. The stats probably also make sense. I think there's some flexibility with the moves because what we've seen recently is every new game will introduce a new round or set of moves.
Right.
So the moves continue to shuffle game to game, which I think in competitive people do appreciate because it's constantly shuffling Pokemon's like usage. I guess what I was going to say is like whatever we get in Gen 10 for the moves, that could also differ from champions. That's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe not.
I'm just still bitter, man. Like, either make Sceptile a physical attacker like he's clearly supposed to be, or give him moves he can use as a special attacker. That's all I'm saying. It's really about Sceptile for me. It's always about Sceptile. It always was.
That's terrible because he's Sceptile.
So just some more. I guess I'll just say some more like more trivial wants. Fossil Pokemon. I want more fossil Pokemon. Just super
always
easy.
Down for that.
That's awesome.
Definitely possible. 50-50, I'd say.
Make it happen. I want new Pokeballs, right? Crafted Pokeballs.
Fun.
Honestly, just crafting in general. Like the Johto Pokeballs, like the Hisui Pokeballs, but this is a new part of a new part of the Pokemon world that we've never seen before. I think again, it's a great opportunity to introduce new lore of like and to expose us to new game, to new Pokeballs or anything else that just isn't found in the Japanese regions, the Western regions, the European regions, right? Like, It could just be like these Pokeballs have always existed, but they're only in this part of the world, right? Which I think is a lot of fun. So the new Pokeballs, I think, is another really easy one that they could do.
Yeah, I don't think that they'll do it, but it is a good idea. I mean, who knows?
Why don't you think they would do it?
I don't know. They don't really put much emphasis on it these days. But who knows? Maybe they come back
Sun
with
and Moon,
it strong.
We did get one new ball at least.
Yeah. And I would say recently we got like in Hisui in Legends Arceus, they gave us a whole slew of new Pokeballs.
Yeah. I feel like if it makes sense to the region, they do it. So like if there's some reason why they would want that to happen in this specific game, they could do it. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see them putting a lot of importance on it is all. But who knows? I could be wrong.
I do hope
I think it's trivial enough, and again the reason is that this is a new part of the world. So in terms of in terms of a reason, like they literally like this is the opportunity to reset or to introduce things that haven't made sense previously in lore, right? Because it's a new part of the world, new culture, new Pokemon, new habitats, new everything. Like this is the opportunity.
There's so many different like plants and fruits and stuff that grow here. It'd be cool if they just literally were like, you can craft the Johto balls again, but now there are these new apricorns. And
dude, yes.
Literally,
100%.
like they just add to the roster of Johto balls.
This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, like we were talking about on the last episode about you guys let me talk for 30 minutes about fruit Pokemon, and there's a lot of really weird fruit that, like you're saying, you could adapt or interpret those as apricorns, which then in this region can be turned into Pokeballs that don't exist anywhere else because they're of nature, or they're specific to this region. Like I think we talked about the Durian, and I'm like, that has like a really rough exterior. Like I don't know, that's just fun. Like you could make it something else, and that's like those are I think it's fun to imagine like crafted balls because I just like those Pokeballs better. But the mass-produced ones, like there's a lot of mass-produced ones, and most of them were introduced in Gen 3 and 4, and then it's been the same ever since. But like again, like even the mass-produced ones could be new. Like I don't know.
It's not out of the realm of possibility, but yeah, it's interesting. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I just think it's fun. It's again integral to. Like Soul, you said it earlier. If this game's all about exploration and that's the emphasis, it would make sense that like they would want to give the player, new tools that are specific to this region, right? New Pokeballs that work specific to the weather, right? New Pokeballs that
could be a good one.
I mean, we have dive balls, we have lure balls, so we've seen kind of this before where the Pokeball works depending on the environment. But if there's all these new environments, give us all sorts of new Pokeballs that like match the environment. So that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. Some more. So that was all right on my list. New type, new Eeveelution, easy. We don't need to talk about it.
I think we're
this
definitely
is an
getting a new
opportunity.
Eeveelution.
This is an opportunity.
I think we're definitely getting a new Eeveelution. If there's a new type, then yeah, it would totally be that type. But if it's not, I feel like flying type has to be on its way,
Yeah.
I had this little mini theory, and it makes a lot of sense when you talk about that. So, like, we know that there was, and this was actually a new thing for me that I learned yesterday. We know that there was a flying type Eevee in Gen 7, and it was actually not cut, but put on hold is what it says. So it being put on hold or cut, however you want to look at it, either way, it existed. And then, so if there was a flying type in this generation, they could do the whole survival of the fittest kind of thing and make a flying and fighting type to do like flight or fight. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole thing, like when you just, whenever you're under attack or whatever, you either do fight or flight. And that's like a total play on the Eeveelutions that they could do. Also, this is the 30th anniversary of Red, Blue, Green, and Yellow, all that. Yeah. It's like, that's when we got Vaporeon and Jolteon and Flareon, this is the time. This is the time. We haven't gotten one since Sylveon. Like, that's 12 years, if I'm not mistaken. And it's like, that's a long time.
14.
Or 14?
No. Yeah, 13.
Gotcha. Yeah, close enough.
When this game comes out, it'll be 13. That is insane. We're do it. Yeah,
exactly. So all of that put together, like, who knows what the types really will be, but I just think that that's a fun little twist on it. But I think we're definitely
Jake was texting me, and he said his prediction was it's time to give Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon another evolution.
Whoa.
And that's something where I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. But also,
I feel like it'd be more likely to be like Megas, do the Raichu thing.
Yeah, but I mean, also I'm like, if Eevee's whole thing is that it evolves based on like environments, and then like Pokemon tend to evolve even more when they're like bonding with their trainers, like I guess it gets a little scary, because my fear is like those Eeveelutions are going to start looking humanoid.
It's literally just risk. Bipedal Vaporeon.
They all become fighting type. Yeah, literally. No, but even just saying that, like, Eevee evolves based on environment, and this region's going to have a bunch of different environments, like, that would be insane to just get 3 brand new Eeveelutions. And like, that's a cash cow for Pokemon. I feel like they milked, dude. The way you could look at it is like they've been milking Eevee the last like 5 years, because they're like, we're gonna Gen 10, we're dropping new Eeveelution so we can milk it all over again. New TCG cards, like new everything.
Yeah,
I don't even
not be surprised.
I don't even care that much about the Eeveelutions, but I think the idea is just fun, and it's one of those things where it's like, there's so many types. You could add more types. Why are you not adding more types? Like, because I know it is possible, that I want to just see it.
Right? Yeah.
I totally agree. A lot of people want to see it, and a lot of people do. Like, that is some of their favorite Pokemon, so it's even more reason to do that.
Level scaling was on the list. Soul said that. New types, stat retcon, and then the new Pokeballs was like, that's kind of a big thing. And then okay, so those are all like the really, I mean, I guess like other things I've talked about is like a new type of shiny or like rare type of Pokemon. I think would be fun. Let's see. That's it for in terms of like my like quick list. That's all. I got some more things here, but if you guys got some ideas, I'd love to hear them.
That Lumi's next up.
So we kind of talked about this, we touched on this, but I did have like a Battle Frontier or some kind of equivalent, and that kind of ties into another one I have, which is really just, in general, give me a post game. And I feel like what Pokemon's been doing recently, I love DLC, but I feel like what Pokemon has been doing recently with DLC is they've been giving us our post game there. And I don't like that. I do think, if you're not going to release that DLC until at the earliest June, so 6 months, 7 months later, in the case of Scarlet and Violet, it was much later than that. Give me a reason to play my game until then. Don't.
Yeah, that's not just battling.
Don't do my post game in the thing that comes out next year. Give me more post game in that, absolutely. But the game needs to have a post game.
I think the post game recently, in a lot of recent games, has been, at least in the Legends games, it's mostly just shiny hunting, which is fine.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, like
Legends games are like not even comparable, I'd say. With like that's one of the things that people talk about is like Legends, it's a fun experience, but then it just kind of ends. And whereas, you know, Scarlet and Violet, people are still playing Scarlet and Violet just because they have more things to do, apparently. I don't know what they're doing, but
I know. So yeah, like I agree. The Legends games like kind of like end once the campaign is over. But like what I was gonna say is that the Pokemon Company is aware that shiny hunting is a gameplay loop, I guess you could call it, or it's something that people will do, and they've leaned into it. And I think in ZA, there's a lot of cool things that they've added where it's like if a shiny Pokemon appears, it's just going to stay there. And that is kind of fun. But the issue with that for me is that like, you just can't actually like, I feel like you have to cheese the game and you're not really engaging with the gameplay to shiny hunt. And that's kind of annoying. And I also think a problem with ZA is like, there is a lot of stuff to do, or there's options for gameplay in terms of like, the what is it, the Infinite Royale, like that should be fun, but there's no reward, so that's another problem. I guess what I was gonna say is like that is still a like Game Freak's approach or their idea for what post game should be, and I still think a lot of those elements are still recognized or applied or were applied to Scarlet and Violet. So I'm just like I'm agreeing with the sentiment that there's like there's not anything to do unless it's like you make it up. Like you have to make up your own post game, which is fine because I think that is kind of like there's a lot of agency that is encouraged in Pokemon games. It's like make up, like
for sure.
Use this as a sandbox to do whatever the heck you want to do.
Yeah, I think,
but like, there should be more.
My ideal post game would be, because I know like an appeal of DLC now, with the exception of Legends EAs, but with you know, like a more traditional game, Scarlet and Violet, Sword and Shield, the appeal of DLC is that it also gives us a new area. I do wish they'd give us like, these are a bunch of islands. Give us one island or one really, like Palau is so small and it's right off the map. And it's so small, but it would add more. Just give us a new area, and then I think
what region?
Palau. It's
an island.
It's a group of islands.
Okay.
But if you pull up a map of Indonesia, you can. It's literally like just right above it. Like it's
okay. I got
our map is just cutting it off, this regional map. But it's not a part of Indonesia, to be clear. But it's just right there. So it doesn't have it labeled here, but I think you can see them up there.
No, I get you. Right. I get you. There. What you're saying is there's, you know, every Pokemon game that we play, usually it's a landmass, but like we're always aware of what's right off the coast or right off the border, and that's just gonna happen no matter what, like unless they reveal the whole map. But yeah, it's like I think there was a joy to older Pokemon games where it's like there was something to do after you hit credits. And in Sinnoh, you know, well, in Johto, you can go to Kanto. That's a pretty high benchmark. But in Hoenn, there would be more. There were a lot of other places to explore, legendaries to collect. You could go to the Battle Frontier in Emerald. In Kanto, it was the Sevi Islands. Yeah. In Sinnoh, there was like another island off the coast. And yeah, I'm with you. It's
even
like
Unova had like a whole, the whole eastern part of the region was cut off to you, and then in the sequels, like the earlier part of the last game. But I think you do that, and something I've always struggled with is like to use Sinnoh as an example, because I think Sinnoh is the biggest offender of this. Sinnoh had a dex of a lot of like evolutions and stuff, but one thing that people kind of complained about is not only is half the dex evolutions, that's not an exact number to be clear, but it's a large amount of them are evolutions, but you locked most of them to the post game, and so it's kind of like, come on, man. So I think a great solution to that would be, because I'm a big believer that Mega Evolution will be in this game, just because I don't think that they I know it'll still live on in Champions, but I think they're going to want us to be able to play around with some megas in a traditional Pokemon game, since they just doubled the size of how many megas there are.
I agree with you.
And I think what you do is you do what Sun and Moon did, where you give us megas in the post game, but then, dude, give us like 10 megas, and maybe 3 of them are our Gen 10 starters or are of iconic Gen 10 Pokemon, like Baxcalibur, Glamora, like how they did that for them in Legends ZA.
Yeah.
And then you just like, that is your post game Pokemon, is these new megas. And I think that kind of satisfies, at least for me, it satisfies the idea of like there being Pokemon locked to the post game, because they are new designs locked to the post game. But since they're Mega Evolutions, and Mega Evolutions of, you know, they're a form of Pokemon. So I'm not like mad that that's locked to there, because there's so many new Pokemon and maybe new true evolutions and regional forms in the base game. But I think that's like the way they need to tackle post game.
Yeah, I'm on board, but I'm also, I guess I just want to bring up that like these games were also built in a time that is so much different for like players than it is, you know, in 2026. Like the reason why
that's real,
these areas would exist is because like you'd buy a game and people, I mean, I don't really know, but like my own experience is I would buy a game and I'd sit with it for over a year. And so like I'd get my full usage out of it. And that's how I became like a massive Pokemon fan. And this is why I'm not a Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on the Game Boy Color fan, because that's like, that didn't have as much content. Right. Deep cut. So yeah, I'm not arguing that like DLC that feels like paywalled content, like, you know, I'm not saying, I'm not advocating for that.
Yeah. Right.
I'm just saying like, it does also make sense that like they would put their full effort into like the main thing.
Oh, 100%.
And then give us some more, because then that extra area might just get overlooked.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying Palau, man. Like, I'm not wanting a Johto thing where we go to Kanto. I just want, give me one island or one very tiny group of islands for a post game. So like, it's not even big enough
explorable
to
areas.
be part of a DLC. You know what I mean? Like, it's half the size of Kitakami.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what, dude? Yeah, I'm down with that, because you can even put new Pokemon hidden in those areas as a reward.
Yeah.
And I guess, is there anything like that in Scarlet and Violet?
No.
Not really.
I mean,
there's nothing like that in modern games because of the whole situation. That's the situation. That's so like, even we learned in the Terra Leak that they are now planning the DLC at the beginning as well. So like right when they start planning the games, they're planning the DLC alongside it almost. So that's like, yeah, we're going to just save this for DLC. It's a very hard situation to see what you're trying to get at, Lumi, but I love it. I want it. For me, I'd be like if we look back at the Gen 10 map, there's like little islands everywhere. Like one of those islands you just can't go to until post game. You know what I mean? Like that's the
like
idea.
The Australia part, you can't go there till post game. I'm not mad about that, you know?
Exactly.
And in fact, I think a lot of
feels
people,
like something that you unlock.
And I think a lot of people would actually like that, maybe even because, you know, it kind of, I think Australia's been a dream Pokemon region for, I think, most of the world. And so I think that by locking it to the post game, you do two things. For one, it feels a little more rewarding, that little piece of Australia, even though it's just a piece. But then for two, it also allows Indonesia to shine through the marketing of the game and through the actual
it's like
main
Johto and Kanto. That makes sense. It's Johto and Kanto. Like when you think of Gen 2, it is Johto. Kanto is just kind of an afterthought.
It's an accessory.
But they could still include it though.
Yeah.
Like again, I kind of like the idea of like that's the starting region, or maybe the starting town or something, or I don't know. Yeah, I guess it could,
that might be more likely even
post game.
I think also when it comes to putting new Pokemon in these like post game areas, it feels like that's wrong. But actually, it would be kind of interesting if they did that, because apparently this is going to be the first time that we can't really data mine a game in a long time. And so we wouldn't even know that those Pokemon existed until someone got to the post game of this game and be like, oh, there's actually new Pokemon there. Because nowadays, you know, they're data mined and you're like, oh, where's this Pokemon? I can't find it, you know, instead.
Yeah, see, I'd prefer that if anything's locked to the post game, it's legendaries and or megas.
Yeah,
or
that's
even
fair.
like, you know, whatever the mega equivalent of this game is, if they did a few of them in the post game, I wouldn't mind that. But I agree with you that I get a little annoyed when they, you know, lock Houndoom to be a
Yeah.
Kanto Pokemon, and I can't actually see it anywhere in Johto. But then you're gonna call it a Johto Pokemon. What's with that, you know?
Yeah.
But
For sure.
but yeah, so that was my big one too. Was a post game that is not, you know, I want DLC to be clear, but I would like some kind of substantial post game in the base game, because I am, you know, I'm paying $70 for this game. There should be something, you know. But so what's next on your list?
For me, like, so mine are kind of like, I could list them off like Dusty did, but one of the main things I really would like back is specific Legends Arceus catching. That's what I really want back. Yeah. I don't really love the ZA version of what we got there. But Legends Arceus catching in this would be epic. Now it's kind of like, you know, not as realistic because we just got ZA, so I would assume they would put ZA catching in it, if they even put the catching like that in this game. But I think at this point you should have catching like that. Like there are battles, but you can choose essentially which one you want to do, like just throw the ball. And
that ties in
it makes sense for this kind of experience.
That ties in well too with Dusty's Pokeball thing, because like, okay, well now give us modern versions of those like jet and feather balls, you know, where it like could go a long distance.
That'd be so good. Yeah, that'd be so good.
The reason why Legends Arceus catching was so much fun is that there was a skill curve, I guess you could say. Like there was something to learn. There was something that you could actually get better at as a player.
That was the gameplay.
Yeah, it was the gameplay, and like it wasn't just you're clicking a button. Like there was, you had to finesse it a little bit. You had to learn the system.
Felt like you were in control. You know, it felt like I was throwing a Pokeball, whereas in ZA it feels less like that. It feels more like I'm getting the game to throw a Pokeball.
And just also like lock on. Every Pokeball functions the same. Where like in Arceus, they all had different effects, and so you had to learn the effects. You had to learn how to use them. They would also, depending on your location in relation to the Pokemon that you're trying to capture, like you had to like, again, finesse it. So that, so like, that's why I think like, I think that returning in some way, it's like the system wouldn't even need to be that different. Being able to catch Pokemon in the overworld outside of battle is the want. And I think it complements what we know about Generation 10, because it's an open world game with all these different biomes, and it's like, it should be immersive. And I think that's the thing that made Legends Arceus feel immersive. It's funny, I go back to Legends Arceus now, and the things that don't feel immersive in Legends Arceus now, it's the battle system, because it like takes me out. Like I just want to be able to attack the Pokemon and keep running, you know?
Yeah.
The catching feels smooth, and it's the reverse. No, I think Legends ZA kind of captures both of those things for me, because you can battle in the overworld, keep running. You can also, capture a Pokemon in the overworld and keep running. You can do all those things. I 100% want that to continue. Yeah, dude, the new balls. Yeah, I think I want that badly. It's just fun.
I mean,
I don't know.
If we get the jet balls back, I'll be really happy.
And then you get to take
that
those.
Whole thing's fun.
Yeah, the jet balls are sick. They can give us new ones, and then those also like then transfer into, like, imagine like a natural version of like the lure ball, for fishing, or the dive ball. Like the dive ball is mass produced, right? It's like a modern technology, but we get like a water ball that's for underwater. Like we have the dive ball, but we could then get the dive ball that is made from whatever, a new apricorn.
That's interesting. I haven't thought about that. That's a good reason to make a new ball, actually. That's a very good reason.
That's what I'm saying. Like
if you're underwater.
Yeah, or the jet ball maybe only works. This new jet ball only works in the sky, right?
Let me skip a ball on the water. I can catch a fish from the beach, and it like
you're
like a rock,
Yeah, that's fun.
We have unlocked the like male mind, like the thing that men like to do most is just skip a rock on the water.
I want to throw a rock in a pond. It's not a good Pokemon game unless I can throw a rock in a pond.
the best pastime ever. Skipping rocks. Right. Skipping Pokeballs on the water.
So this is making me realize like how, I do think the Pokeballs are big. And again, like if we're going to be taking Pokemon, moving them, like I think this is something that we're going to see. I really think Champions I know I say this every year, but it would make it just. I'll leave the ports out of this drink. I'll leave the ports out of this, but like we have champions, we have home, we have this new Gen 10 game. To me, the idea is that they want us to buy these new games, transfer stuff into home, use it in champions, and there's this whole ecosystem. And I think other than just the Pokemon, it's even the Pokeballs that you have your Pokemon in when you transfer it to home and then into champions and you're flexing with your Pokemon. Like you want a way to like you want to create new ways of customization, right? And I think if they introduce new Pokeballs, that means theoretically every single Pokemon that exists in Generation 10 can be, most of them could be captured in these new Pokeballs, which then people will want to, that encourages people to collect every single Pokemon in a brand new Pokeball, and then just for collection purposes, but also to flex on champions,
Makes sense. Yeah.
Like we are collectors. Like that is part of it. You want to catch every shiny in a new Pokeball. You want to catch a regular old Vulpix in a new Pokeball, right? Like a Pikachu in one of these new Pokeballs feels like a new Pokemon. Not a new Pokemon design, but like it's like something that no one has in their collection.
Right.
So I do think
people like to color code or whatever.
Yeah.
Match the animations. So there would be some Pokemon where like maybe the Moon Ball was the best Pokeball for it, but now this new Pokeball is, so everybody's going to be trying to get its shiny in that ball now. Yeah, I think that's really good. That's exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, do you have something else?
I mean, I have a little list that I could just rattle off as well. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, maybe I'll just do a big one anyway, because one of my like main ones that is like a pipe dream one is for them, since we're on this topic, is to do like the gyms you do turn-based battles, and then like all the other trainer battles or just like random battles you could do like a more Legends Arceus or Legends ZA type of battling. Like I would love for there to be like this dynamic difference between battling like within the different settings. Like I said, this one's more of a pipe dream, but you never know. Like what we know from leaks is just that there's a certain type of battling that's in the game. It doesn't mean that that's battling the entire game. You never know. So I would be ecstatic to be like, oh, you go to the gym and you beat all the trainers in like a more Legends ZA type battling, and then once you get to the final, like the gym leader, you actually have to do like a whole turn-based like exposition. Like it's like bigger or like something more wild. Like that is the perfect blend of both of those battle systems to me.
Like we know that there's or it seems, I shouldn't say we know because this is all like based on like beta leaks, right? But there seems to be not only gyms but also some kind of boss, like similar to like the Titans from Scarlet and Violet. So I don't see why you couldn't. It makes sense in lore too, right? If this is a wild Pokemon that is like a godlike being attacking us, it's so not going to wait for us to take turns. So let us do like the ZA style battling or something similar in that kind of fight.
It's like a raid.
Right. That makes sense too. Yeah, that makes even more sense.
And you know what would be fun also is like if when there is like an online mode, because there's probably going to be like an MMO online, not MMO, but like an online mode where it's like, I never know what it's called in Scarlet and Violet, like the Sea Gear, what is it called?
I don't think
the one where you like play with your friends.
The Union Circle.
The Union Circle, where you connect and you run around each other's worlds. Yeah.
Yes.
That is MMO, like, by the way. That is.
Yeah, but that wouldn't make the whole game an MMO. It would just be like when people go into your world, you could team up with your friends to do these raids, and you can, I guess, do that. You do that in Scarlet and Violet, but it'd be kind of fun to also like if there's more of these. I don't know. I guess I just like you know what? I think I just like it hits different when the Pokemon is in the overworld versus in a raid bubble,
Yeah.
And so I like the idea of like these things being tough, and maybe there's not 5, but there's instead like, a ton. And you have to team up with your buddies, and they can team up with you in your overworld, and it's seamless. Like that just sounds like fun.
The rogue mega evolutions from ZA with friends would be pretty fun.
Oh yeah,
100%.
You know,
Yeah.
you're all just running around trying to beat
Yeah.
it, and it's like it's much harder than the
Right,
ones
yeah.
that you played. Because
right. And they'd have us the like how now they have the unrivaled raids that they do, where it's like it's a level 100 Charizard. It's got the mightiest mark, which makes it say like Charizard the Unrivaled. They'd have equivalents of that are like so hard. That would be so much fun. I would love that.
Yeah, that's great. But first, I got to tell you guys about our classic, our best selling merch collection, Hidden Legacy. This is a beautiful design by our in-house guy, Noivi, aka Anthony. This man is a legend, but he whipped up this gorgeous design for us. It comes in a variety of colors, and on the back of the shirt, this design encapsulates all sorts of inside jokes, and I guess not even jokes. They're not jokes, but they're just they're things that are, I guess, what's the word? An ode to, right? In legacy to, or in respect of. Come on, guys, help me out.
They're all
I'm drowning
things
over
that
here.
are important to us. I mean, just look at it. Look at it. You've got Mons that we hold dear, right? You've got Soul's Ultra Necrozma. You have my Dragonite. You have Dusty's Cherubi even on
Bro,
there. An
we
S tier
need a
Pokemon.
solo Cherubi shirt. I gotta talk to Noivi about that. Honestly, I kind of forgot about this, but you got the Pokemon Snap camera up top. That's a classic Hidden Power moment right there. And at this point in time, both Soul and I have played a little bit of Pokemon Snap, so this is kind of a retro design at this point, being a thing. But anyways, this, like I said, this last summer we had this created to really just kind of like capture not only the legacy of the show, but also just a lot of the designs, but also the colors that we chose were really in service to or meant to remind. They're in the spirit of the summer, right? To me, it reminded me of when we designed this. I was in Maine. I was on the coast, right? I'm living it up. Summer nights, I'm living it up with the sea breeze in the air, right? Sand in my toes, right? What's that old song? Sand in my bum's in the water, in the sand, toes in the sand,
toes in the water, bum in the sand.
Oh yeah. You know, well, who sings that?
Is
that Jimmy Buffett?
It sounds like a Jimmy Buffett song.
I don't think that's Jimmy Buffett.
No, who is it? Anyways, whatever. It was a gorgeous summer.
Band?
Yes, the Zach Brown band. And this, listen, summer's upon us, and I'm so excited to get back into the vibes of the summer. I'm really excited here on the East Coast to enjoy the summer, and I hope you are too. If you guys want to support the show, if you want something more tangible than just a Patreon membership, if you want something more tangible than just like some extra episodes every single month, you can go to shop.hiddenpowerpodcast.com. Links are in the description to go to this website, and you can get yourself some new Hidden Legacy merch. We have the shirts. It also comes in a sweatshirt. We should make a ball cap. I don't think we've made a ball cap of this design yet, but we also have a stainless steel bottles available. And yeah, I just love this whole collection so much. There is, of course, so many other designs on the store, so feel free to browse around and get something for yourself, get something for your spouse, or I guess you could say significant other if you're younger than 30. And thank you guys so much. And let's get back to the show. Yeah, I think I was gonna say this earlier. Like, I do think there could be something really fun about, like, okay, we have these type of Titan bosses that are open, that are real time raid combat. Like, that's fun. I like that because it's got a bigger health bar, so you're just kind of wailing on it. That's fun. But even with the gym leaders, I guess I do see value in having that be some sort of turn-based system. Mm-hmm. But I do think they need to do something to that turn-based system to make it feel still more engaging. Like, there should be a time, like a proper timer on your moves, or when you use your moves. My favorite, I always think about Paper Mario, right? It's an RPG, mm-hmm. But when you use an attack and Mario gears up to go for his attack, and then he jumps on the Goomba's head, the game incentivizes you to stay engaged, because as it's doing that base animation, if you time it right and press A as Mario hits the enemy's head, you do double damage, and that applies for all moves, and that's how you basically get a critical attack or a critical hit. So like some sort of like time-based implementation or addition to the turn-based system, I think is going to be needed, or I would like to see, to actually make these battles like more engaging. It's like you can do it passively, but you're going to have an advantage if you're engaged with it, right? That's how I think. That's what I think we need, because that's I don't know. They're just, these battles just are not engaging. To most battles are just not engaging. And I totally, after a couple months, I do see how the real-time combat can maybe be not as enjoyable, because I do think a lot of the main battles, like the I guess the campaign, or like the rival, or like the
bosses,
like the boss
the
fights,
promotion matches,
they do go super quick if you're like, if you're good, if you're over leveled, it like goes by
if you
too
mega
quick.
evolve.
Yeah, if it goes by too quick. I mean, there's been some times where I just get like thwomped, but there's been other times where I'm like doing these boss battles and it goes by too quick for me to even appreciate what's happening.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I guess maybe a different way they could do it is just by giving those bosses more HP, so you can like, it's like maybe we see gym leader battles where it's like, I'm trying to think, like instead of individual Pokemon, like the boss will have max health, and like you have to when you defeat their Pokemon, you can see their full health gauge slowly go down. Like there's ways they could do it so the battles are still real-time combat, but I don't know. I guess I just,
now the gyms I'm gonna push back on. Don't touch my gyms. I want them to stay the same as they always have been.
That's true, dude. I didn't
do
even
another
we are gonna get real gyms.
Yeah,
I was thinking about like a Legends game.
Yeah, I want it to be like how gyms have always been. I want it to be turn-based, but I'm with you on like bosses like this, or even the Starfall Street equivalent or whatever. I'm totally fine with those being and in fact I think I would even want those to be a more real-time based system.
Would you want an additional layer that encourages engagement on the turn-based system?
Oh, absolutely. There's tons of, like, another thing too is that hypothetically, if there is a turn-based system, then our Pokemon have abilities. So I think it would be fun to see how that carries over to the real-time battle system. Like, that'd be kind of neat.
That's super fun, and that does separate it again. That's another layer of separation from ZA.
Right.
I've been wanting to like kind of study. There's been like a lot of really good turn-based games lately that have come out. Like obviously Expedition 33 is like the biggest one that everyone talks about. Totally turn-based, and I've just been wanting to like look at how those games work. What was what?
Yeah, like I'm agreeing with you. Like what do those games do that make them so great as turn-based games? Because it was kind of like a lost art, not a lost art, but like it. I feel like the wave was to go into real time, and as a Pokemon fan, I do think Expedition 33 has been championed in our space as like a game where people are like, look, turn-based battles are for adults. But I haven't played it. I have no idea.
Well, not even just this. There's like a whole bunch. There's like a resurgence of turn-based games happening right now, and I'm like, okay, Pokemon, like let's tap into some of that. And I know like the Final Fantasy games are what people have been saying for a long time, but so for me, I've just been hearing that, but I've never actually like gone into like look at what that gameplay is actually like. Like what do they change from a Pokemon turn-based kind of situation that we could add into Pokemon? I think having the Pokemon, like using the Pokemon, is where it gets a little different, because in these games you are actually the player using moves. See, like that, like you're the player using moves instead of the Pokemon using moves. So it's a little different in that aspect. But I don't know. I think I don't
think it's that much different, because all it is like the trainer is behind and you can wield your Pokemon up front. And so like anything that they do with like anything you would see in Expedition 33, I should pick this up. My dad's got a PlayStation 5 that he bought and just doesn't use.
You should definitely.
He doesn't use it. He doesn't use it because he bought it to play Texas Hold'em, and he's like, I don't get games. I'm like, Dad, what are you doing? Like, there's so many cool games. I should just go like borrow that for a little while and just play Expedition 33. But yeah, anything that you see like this or like Final Fantasy, it's like you just need to basically
I think it's the cinematics, to be honest, that people like the most about these games.
Yeah. No, that's totally true. The camera changes to the player, and you can see like item, skills, attack, aim. In a Pokemon game, that would be like run, bag, fight, whatever, right? But then as you select fight, the camera should shift to the Pokemon.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's like, and then that gives it like a little bit of action, right? Because right now we have dynamic camera angles, but like it's kind of like it's disconnected from the like the actual battle,
like a much better version of the final fight with Zygarde and Ainge. You know, where like pick a move and it would switch up to Zygarde, version. But like a much better version.
5 times much better. I think there's a way to do it for sure. Like some kind of mixed battle. They should just mix everything. And
you see this right here? I don't know if totally, but you can see the character's about to use a move, and there's a little bit of like a meter happening, and it's prompting you to press the X button, and it looks like they press it exactly at the right time, and you get a little feedback that says perfect, you hit it, and then the character gets like a 300. It does like 300 damage. That to me would be like the critical hit aspect. That would be so easy to implement, right?
And it would take away like the randomness of just a crit. It's like people are just like, oh yeah, sorry, I got a crit. Instead it'd be you actually had to use skill to get one.
Dude, 100%. Because like what was so cool about like playing through ZA, like for the first time you get to witness what it happens when a Pokemon misses an attack. And what it is like, it's not a random RNG. It's you're actually getting out of the way to avoid the attack. And that's what this, like, I think that is what people want to see. I'm not saying remove the turn base, but I'm saying in general, there's so many, like when Pokemon was introduced, everything was just RNG because that's how you make it just kind of random. Right? That's how you simulate a real experience. But now that we're 30 years later, I think we want to remove the RNG, which is like out of anyone's hands, and kind of explain it or give it context or like, like make it basically, you just want to like reinterpret the RNG, whatever that might be, and kind of just make it more immersive, right? So it's like, if you're dodging an attack, it's because you literally dodge an attack. If you get a critical hit, it's because you're nice like that and you're actually getting a critical hit. That sounds fun.
See, like when you look down there, they have dodge is like one of the options of what they can do.
That's sick.
And that's what I mean by like it's different with the Pokemon. Like I don't know, they could add like a 5th move, which is just like dodge all the time. You know what I mean?
Dude, parry, dodge. Yeah, you can counter attacks too. And so what's so cool about this? And I don't know, Lumi's like he's really trying. He's holding his tongue. He's ready to say this is horrible, but like this is exciting to me.
But it's fine.
It's still turn based in Gen 10. But not in Champions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like, it's different.
I get that, but just, since I'm playing, because Champions, it's purely like a battle simulator, right? Like I'm going to be, I've also played it for a while. This is a brand new Pokemon game. So naturally, I think I'm going to want it to, I'm going to want to play this brand new game in the way I most prefer. But I am fine with battles like this. You know what I mean? As long as I really think with Scarlet and Violet, I think that as much as I hate on that game, I think that game did a very good job at kind of balancing things. Now, the issue was like the battles weren't that different from one another, but they had the gyms, and that was traditional. Hey, you've played Pokemon before. This is the exact same thing. You have the Starfall Street where it is something different, and you have the Titans thing where it's still turn-based, but like it's a boss battle now. If they take something like this and it's one of those paths, but I still have the gym path being the same as it's always been, I genuinely, not only do I not care, I enjoy the game more out of that, because it's best of both worlds. You gave me what I wanted, but I also get to play with this new thing. I love that.
Yeah. I think another idea I had right here that really wouldn't, because again, like I'm not trying to destroy and rebuild a new battle system. I just don't think that's what we're going to see in Generation 10. But if it's a fusion, it could have some action elements where it's like it encourages you to like correctly time the hit so you can get a critical hit or something. But also, we could basically, with every move, okay, so like, you're fighting a boss, you're from the character's the human character's perspective. You can fight, go to the bag, you can run, whatever. You select fight. Now the camera shifts onto the Pokemon, and your Pokemon has 4 moves, like always, right? They're types, they have PP, it's the same thing as normal. But what you can do is if you hold down, let's say like left trigger and then select a move versus right trigger and select a move. If you select left trigger and select a move, that offensive move, your Pokemon will basically go to attack on like the left side of the Pokemon to kind of indicate there's like some variance when you're going to attack. And I think that could be kind of cool because if your opponent goes to attack on the right or something, or I guess I don't totally know how it would work, but like if you could I'm thinking about like modifiers to the standard Pokemon moves that exist already in the anime, right? Where it's like use your tail to jump and then use like Thunderbolt, right? Like go over here on the left and then attack, which again, in a role-playing system still reflects and aligns with what we just saw in Legends EA. So it's not even that different of us. It's a different system because it's more traditional, but it is like not functionally, but like I guess like visually or thematically, it's the same as Legends EA, which is consistent with the anime. And all champions would be doing is just not having those other action variants. And I'm not saying like you are moving your character to the left and then attacking. I'm saying like you select a button and then select flamethrower. And now Charmander is gonna, run to the left and then use flamethrower. Or maybe it's like the left is parry and the right is like be more defensive. So maybe it's actually taking some some elements from Legends Arceus with the what is it called, like the strong and the agile forms
style, yeah
maybe those can be integrated as well.
No, thank you.
That actually already exists. I don't know.
Yeah. We don't really need that too much. I don't know. We could have do a whole episode on how to change the battle system. I do agree that like
I don't think it's gonna be that much bit different though. Like I feel like this is all it'll be probably.
I just think if they really do want to change it, because it's not like it needs to be changed, but at the same time,
I think it needs to be changed. That's my position.
It's like, I don't know if it actually needs to be changed, but they are going in that direction no matter what. So it's just to keep up with the times. There's so many, like I was saying, there's so many like other games that are doing turn-based really fun and well, and it's just all right. Just tap into some of that, and I don't like. One of the main things I don't like is when the Pokemon feels like an item, like far off in the distance. Like I really hate like being the trainer. I don't want to be that. I hate that. But anyway, we'll see. But
that's
how
what
it
a
goes.
Pokemon game is.
I wonder.
Not really.
You don't want to be. It is, dude. You're a Pokemon trainer.
When I think of red and blue, I think of the Pokemon, and I don't see no trainer the whole time. I just want to be the trainer in the back pushing the buttons. I don't want to be like running around. I'm the focus, and the Pokemon just flying around away from me. I'm like, I don't even see him anymore. I don't even know this game isn't Pokemon.
I agree with what Dusty's saying though. Like it's always been you were the trainer. Like you think the first time
yes, obviously.
Unless you want to play Mystery
into
Dungeon,
Smash, it's the Pokemon trainer. Like the character in Smash.
Of
they
course.
brought in Pokemon now, but like, and then also it does allow them to diversify their games. What is the appeal of Mystery Dungeon, Pikachu's Adventure, and Pokepark, any of those type games? If I'm playing the Pokemon in the main game, the draw of those games. Now that said,
I know
they don't make those games anymore, so why not?
I'm not saying be the Pokemon at all. I'm just saying I want the focus on the Pokemon. That's been you guys have heard me like a broken record on this thing. I just don't want to not see the Pokemon and just focus on the trainer. Is like I'm not playing a third person open world game. I mean, I guess I am, but the Pokemon are what I want to see.
I get that.
Trainer.
I think what it is
once
is
again,
that, like,
though, I will
the Pokemon
ask you,
is the magic. The Pokemon is the weapon. If Pokemon is the video game and the RPG, you don't have swords, you don't have mages, you catch Pokemon, which is the power that the trainer then gets. In this little sequence right here is exactly what we could see, where this is from Expedition 33. You got the You know, you get the person, aim, item, skill, attack. That would be, you know, run, attack, you know, bag, battle, whatever.
See, here I would be like, the Pokemon should be where the person is. Not
so watch right here. and then once you select attack, it switches to a different dynamic angle.
That could be cool. That could be cool,
so the camera would zoom to the Pokemon and you'd see the 4 attacks that you could potentially use.
But let's face it, with Game Freak, what would happen there is when it switches over, you'd fall through the earth. So
yeah. Listen, listen. This is a new era. Generation 10.
I agree.
We're going back to Gen 7, Gen 6, Gen 8, where it's like there were no bugs. Bugs were not a thing. That was a Scarlet and Violet issue and a BESP issue.
I mean, Legends EA even had some too. Just not by any means as glaring as those.
Legends EA was good. Legends EA.
I agree.
All games have bugs. All games have bugs.
But yeah,
Legends EA looks good. Gen 10 is going to be good.
And for the record, even as far back as X and Y, bugs. You save in Lumio City, your game's gone.
That's what he said though. Like all games do have bugs. Like there's always a few.
What I'm saying is like we got to reset. We got a Gen 10. We are Game Freak stands again.
I
want to believe that this game is going to have actual polish.
I think it will. So I've got something because we've been on this for like 20 minutes.
Sure.
I've got something that is both a public service announcement and a perfect segue into my next thing, and that is first a public service announcement because Soul, you said that you wanted the focus to be on the Pokemon even if you're playing as a human character, and so I will once again ask you to please, you have somewhere in your home new Pokemon Snap, play that game, but also, and everyone who hasn't played it, play it.
True,
but then I will also say that's something that I've been wanting because new Pokemon Snap did this really well, and Scarlet and Violet. Dusty, you were showing all these Scarlet and Violet images of the Titan Pokemon, and the whole time I'm just sitting there looking at it going, God, that is an ugly game. And that is what I want from this game is I want the world to be pretty. I want the one thing that we're kind of seeing from this map, and it's been a lot of stuff in the Terra League, is the environments being a big focus on this game. And so I want the environments to not all look like copy paste because everywhere that's green and Scarlet and Violet looks the exact same, and then it's ugly. I end up getting lost
because I'm like, I don't know where I am. This just looks like another random area.
Well, and I also want to get lost because like I'm so enamored by its beauty, and I'm not like, let's get to the next town because those are at least kind of pretty,
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you, man. I'm totally with you. I think I'm really hoping Gen 10 is a return to form. Again, Game Freak used to be cutting edge. Pokemon used to be a staple. They've had a lot of growing pains, but the games still were pretty solid. You might not think they're like, they didn't have critical appeal. They weren't like being like, boasted as like cutting edge games.
Yeah.
Over the, in the 3D era, but they weren't like, they became a laughing stock in the last 5 years. The last 40 years, and they didn't used to be like that.
And it's a shame too, because I had so much fun with Scarlet and Violet. I had so much fun with it. It's just literally like the further that I've been stuck with that game, the more I'm like, this game is hideous. I don't even hate it. It was still so much fun, and I remember it being so much fun to play through it. But it is not a fun game to, hey, you've beaten the game, pick it up and play it. It's not fun.
It's not it's not satisfying.
It's not satisfying. That's good.
I never moved all of my Pokemon from Gen 8 to Gen 9. I used to do that. Gen 6 to 7 to 8, and I didn't move them all over because I'm like, I'd rather just keep them in Gen 8. Like, I can see where they are, and they can live in this game. Like, why would I want to put them in Gen 9? They're not going to look any better. So
they look so much better.
I do think the Pokemon actually do look better in this game.
They look so much better.
But I can't use them for they just.
Yeah, that's true.
They look ugly. I mean, the world looks ugly.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's like sending your Pokemon to hell.
Dude, Gen 10 could be so gorgeous. It really could be.
I hope it will be. And that also kind of brings me to my last point. It ties in well with this, so I'm just going to skip whoever's next and hit it.
I was going to add to your point.
Okay, go. Yeah.
In terms of the region for Generation 10, what I would love to see, and this is kind of a Lumi take, I would love to see substantial evidence of the history of this region.
That's good.
And by extension, the lore of this region. Like, I want to see in Johto, right? In Kanto.
In Sinnoh.
From the very beginning. anywhere you yes, but I think mostly in Kanto and Johto. Anywhere you go, there's these like these there in Kanto there's books, right, that tell you the tale of like things that have happened in the past. There's mention of a war, there's mention of like legendary Pokemon, Team Rocket's exploits, lost Pokemon, Mewtwo. In Johto, there's like immediately you see, you're steeped in all this history that are, all this architecture that's been there for like 1,000 years. The ruins of Alph, right? The bell tower, then the burn tower, then these, the legendary dog or the legendary beasts that are like basically frozen statues that you awaken, like these things helped me imagine, that I was in this game, in this world
you were there,
that has lived. So it's not just about like, regional forms. It's what makes this, it's like, this is a whole new part of the Pokemon world that we've never seen before. And what I think they should do, and Scarlet and Violet did a little bit of this, but to like a worse degree, is I want them to tell these tales of these things that we've never heard of before, I don't want connections to Lugia and Rayquaza, and I want like
I don't mind connections to Lugia.
I don't either, but like I just want new like introduce new legends, and I think they're going to. I think the Ruinous Quartet were kind of cool because like again there was maybe a story there, but it wasn't fleshed out. It wasn't none of it felt connected. It's like all the watchtowers and the ruins, they're like they just were generic. Like the idea of them is kind of cool, but it's just generic, So that's what I want to see in the world.
That's real.
I think that's very likely to happen.
I feel like you're almost disrespecting the real world area if you're not doing that, because like this is such a rich cultural, I guess, place.
The whole world is like has
for sure
like long history and culture, and it's funny because I'm like, as a Westerner, we're not taught. And I live in New England. I live in America. They don't teach us anything about anything.
No, we learn about
that
European
has nothing to do
history,
with World War II,
but we don't really learn about Indonesian history or whatever, which is a shame because then you get little glimpses of the area and stuff, and you find yourself going like, I wish they did teach us about this in school because this place is like really pretty, and really cool.
We had some really cool comments actually on the last video that were like, hey, you should reach out to these people because these are like Indonesian or creators who are from Indonesia. You should reach out to them. And so we got to do a little bit of we got to do a little bit of networking to see if we can get in touch with those people. But I don't know, it's exciting for me. Like
I feel like the only YouTube videos I've been watching are just tons of stuff on this area of the world. Like literally, I'm in school for Southeast Asia right now.
Nice.
Southeast Asia class.
But tying in all that, one thing that was in the Terra leak about this game that they at least at one point planned to do with this game, and it seemed to be a big enough focus that I do think it's going to come to fruition, is they plan to have a lot of Pokemon environment relationships. Like, for example, one thing we saw was like a screenshot of a Lumineon underwater lighting up, illuminating, because Lumineon's a bioluminescent Pokemon, illuminating the dark seafloor, and one with a Charizard whose flame was kind of lighting up a cave. And those kinds of things are something really, really big that I want from this game, because I love the idea of, if I'm all about immersion in Pokemon, and if I'm truly in the Pokemon world, I'm probably actually not picking a team based on, okay, well, I have a fire type and a rock type, which means I have a water weakness, so I should probably pick up a grass or electric. No, I'm probably picking my team based on, man, that's a really dark cave. I don't know how to get through it. Hey, that Pokemon over there, it lights up. I should catch that Pokemon so I can make it through this cave.
And then all of a sudden you create a bond with it. It helps you win some battles. It learns a funny move. Maybe it does something funny. You kind of like how it interacts in the world. And now all of a sudden you're a Lumineon stand. This is the
a C tier Pokemon just became an S tier to me. This is the
S tier Cherubi pipeline. This is what happens, dude. Right. This is what happens. And it's beautiful. Like, that's how it should be. Soul, you don't know about that, but like, that's how you fell in love with Lugia. It was this crazy beast out in Johto that you stumbled upon, and it made an impression.
And
but
Mega Tatsugiri.
Yeah, dude, normal Pokemon can still do that. Like, it's amazing when that happens. Like, or all of a sudden you're like, wait, I think I love this thing. What is it even on?
But I want to see a lot of like Snap level. It always comes back to Snap, because you see on this picture, dude, literally, like, look at this picture. There's new Pokemon Snap.
People
like,
thought
this
it
is
was
1-to-1. You know what I mean? So
it's crazy.
I want to see new Pokemon Snap type things again. Play new Pokemon Snap. Seriously, guys, I'm trying to do you a favor. Play new Pokemon Snap,
dude. I'm totally with you, because like, again, Lumineon is like so many Pokemon that kind of like annoy me are ones that just feel like arbitrary, like they shouldn't exist. Lumineon is a weak fish water type Pokemon. We don't need another one. It has no functional purpose to exist. It doesn't even have a gimmick. It has no special moves. It has no reason to exist. But in Generation 10, all these Pokemon that like I don't care about, that probably a lot of people don't care about, could have purpose in, character and have a reason, or I guess like be defined in a way that makes them actually memorable and unique to the environments that they're in, right? Like, I don't know, like, right? Like, we should be picking things that just bring us joy, not things that are like optimal for a team. And I'd like the idea of playing through a game that is like, and this literally is the last thing on my list. I said living trainers in Pokemon, NPCs who actually travel the world, Pokemon with daily routines, not just spawn points. This is like totally in line. It's like, I want these things to be migrating, to be moving. I want things to feel real. Like, that is something from, again, a lot of my favorite RPGs. Like, I think about Skyrim, where it's like every day a character literally has a route that they go on, right? They literally, as if they're living their life, and you can follow them all the way back to their house. They go inside the house, they lock the door. Now all of a sudden you can't get in unless you lock pick. Then you can go in their house, steal their stuff when they're sleeping, and then come back out. They don't know. They can leave that. It's like
you can kill them if you wanted to.
You can kill.
What game is this?
You can do whatever you want. And like the Pokemon, like, what if there's a rare Pokemon that's not running? But like, what if, like, okay, Latios, or let's say Suicune, right? It's a roaming Pokemon. What if you literally could like kind of follow it roam? But it's like, if you startle it, it'll start attacking you like Thundurus. I'm thinking about Thundurus and like Legends Arceus. It sees you, it starts attacking you. Yeah. But it's like, maybe you want to keep its your distance. Maybe it goes, you find its nest, it falls asleep, and then it's like, okay, guess what? I can throw my like, I can throw a feather ball at it, a jet ball from it for like a distance, maybe get lucky on the roll and actually capture it. I don't know. Like, I don't know. That's the kind of like immersion
that's really good
stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to see any of that, but like,
that's like what we want is a proper open world game. That's what we want. Yeah, that's the thing. Like on my list, I have like better side quests, like stuff like that, where it's just like, it's just simple little things that make a proper open world game. Like they should just study. Yeah, they should study open world games that have been successful, that are not Breath of the Wild. But even Breath of the Wild is somewhat good. Yeah, I agree. It's just, what you just said is a perfect thing. Like, study some Bethesda games, how Fallout or the Elder Scrolls works. Yeah. It's just,
And I'm not saying,
really cool.
I mean, those are massive games that have like, Elder Scrolls 6 has 15 years of development.
We don't even know if that's actually.
They probably started like 5 years ago, but like, but I'm just, like, I'm not saying these games like this. I'm not expecting. Yes, there's elements of this that they could adopt to make the experience just more memorable.
And you build on it over time, right? Like if they had started in Scarlet and Violet with some of those elements, they could have had those elements in this game and then added new ones. And then you just build and build until you make like this really good open world experience. To be honest,
I think a lot of the features from the Legends games could even make their way into this main series game, because I'm starting to think that the Legends game, all that means is it's a story that has nothing to do with a character defeating an evil team and collecting gym badges and yada 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 and becoming the champion. It's not about that. It's actually about a story and being a legend in a story. And so I think a lot of the gameplay elements from Legends, ZA and Arceus and Scarlet and Violet, and those can all be carried over and still be iterative in Gen 10. What is it?
That story was pretty bad though. The ZA one. But no, I agree with you.
And I think also like, and we got to jump here in a sec, but I also think that like, I think there's a possibility. I'm saying all these, like my expectations are high because I don't even mind that it will be 4 years between generations. I don't even mind. The problem for me is that Scarlet and Violet just wasn't for me. I know a lot of people enjoyed it, but it was not for me. Like Legends EA was a lot of fun, fell flat once you beat the campaign. But I think what I'm missing is just a polished, solid, like Pokemon game, generation game that has a vision and is just like a collective experience that like I can be like that I can just enjoy, for multiple years.
I just don't think that they're going to throw out classic things though too. We're talking a lot about things that they should improve and bring into it, but I think like the idea of just going around doing the gyms is like core to the Pokemon mainline
to
core
Gen 10.
games experiences. Like that stuff's still going to be in here, and they add things, which is good, but you can't like count out that they're gonna not do those. Like, they're gonna do those things. It's totally happening.
I agree
in that way.
Agree.
Yeah, because you can't lose Pokemon. No, but it's just like when you think about comparing it to Legends, where it's like it's focused on not the gyms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That whole aspect. I feel like these games are like we're keeping the core. They're called core Pokemon games essentially at this point. For that reason, like the core of Pokemon is intact throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, like they've said that like these kinds of games are supposed to be geared more towards like Pokemon players, whereas the Legends games are supposed to be geared more towards just gamers in general to try to widen the net,
Totally. No, I totally agree.
I have one more thing on just like on this topic, and it's not long or anything, but just I would really like to have to go to the area, like actually travel there and then get the fast travel for that area.
Yeah.
Once you get there. That is a thing in like normal open world games where like you actually have to go there and then you're able to fast travel there instead of just like being able to fast travel anywhere. Because like in Legends EA, I like don't even walk anymore. I just fast travel the whole map everywhere all the time, and it's really just like, am I even playing a game? I don't know. Like the world doesn't.
But I mean, that's how it is now, though, right? You have to
fly,
get to those locations before you can fly there.
In Legends EA, maybe it's because the map is just so like
since it's so circular, you've gone to places without realizing you've gone to places.
It's like I didn't travel anywhere. I just got there. I was just there. Right. I would just love to see that in a game like this where it's like I'm thinking like Wind Waker, which we have talked about, like traveling along the seas. Like you have to do that initial work to get to the spot.
To unlock the islands.
Right. Unlocking 100%. Things. Unlocking things is a good feeling. I would like to.
I think Pokemon has been pretty consistent about that, but I think maybe it hasn't felt as impactful in a lot of the more recent games because it's like, the story will be so linear that there's no reason to go back. And I think
that's true.
I think RC is not RC is because they're like separate biomes and you always have to go back. I think honestly, just the classic games are the best example of this, where it's like you can't fly anywhere unless you've been there. You can't fly anywhere, I think in Gen 1, unless you go inside the Pokemon Center. Like you could go somewhere.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
But you need to like register it by like actually going into the Pokemon Center. So yeah, I think we're gonna see that. But that's a good thing to bring up because I agree. I think even with Scarlet I guess Scarlet and Violet does have that.
It does. I think it's the feeling of the region more than anything. This is a separated region. It feels, at least what we're seeing, feels like it's all separated. Instead, with Paldea, it's like a big circle too. It's kind of just like you go around, and that's kind of
No, dude, dude, you're totally right. Because like when the game starts, if we start in the beginning, it would be kind of sick to be like, oh my god, like I'm 3 days in and I've only explored these 2 islands or this one island, but you went in a different direction. That's kind of fun.
It's like we were saying, like just make it more of an open world game proper, like the types that we've seen in the past from other companies.
100%.
So
thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to, if you want to see more of our Generation 10 coverage, we got a bunch of past episodes. We did a Generation 10 starter Pokemon prediction video with Loxton a couple weeks ago, and we've been uploading. This would be for Patreon members if you want to support. this show, we are independent. If you want to support and actually unlock extra bonus podcasts every single week, you can join on Patreon or right here on YouTube. All the tiers are the same, but at that lowest tier, you will be unlocking all those extra bonus episodes. You'll also get a code to get into the secret Discord. There's a bunch of other perks. But right now we're doing a retrospective on every single Pokemon region, and we're up to generation, maybe by the time you're watching this, episode 6 or generation 6. So go check that out. It's a great time to join. There's a ton of stuff to binge. And we also have like 50 other bonus episodes, before that even. So thank you guys. Appreciate you watching. Let us know in the comments what you want to see in Generation 10 the most. I think we're going to be doing, do we have any other, we did starters, we did Pokemon, we did, what we actually want to see for mechanics and features in Gen 10. Are we going to be doing maybe another Pokemon one?
We do have, definitely. I mean, because we can, frankly,
we could do 3 more episodes of all this stuff.
This place is so diverse that, like, I think that we'll be seeing multiple of those just throughout the year leading up to the release.
Sure.
Not the announcement.
Yeah, good point.
The release of this game.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So there's that, but we do have more stuff planned. Like, we do have we're going to be talking about our Pokemon Day predictions and kind of what we think that first trailer might bring. We have a plan to also do a call-in show so that you guys who have signed up on Patreon or through YouTube memberships and have access to the secret Discord, you can come on and you can kind of tell us your thoughts on Gen 10, your predictions for Gen 10 and Pokemon Day. And then we also have plans for a little guest episode where we talk about this kind of stuff as well, with a master, dare I say, a keeper of lore.
Dude, the last like 3-4 months have been crazy with hype for ZA, playing ZA, then jump into the DLC. Now we're getting right into the Gen 10 hype. Pokemon Day's right around the corner. Yeah, we did all these collaborations with some friends. I forgot about that. It was just, it seems like a lifetime ago. It was a month ago.
Yeah, for real.
Guys, we're almost at 15,000 subs. Subscribe if you're new. We appreciate you watching the #1 Pokemon podcast. And yeah, guys, Gen 10. I'm so ready to do full coverage of this. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.